and for some reason it starts leaking.
Welcome back to the channel. Think, Build, Test. We have a Pontiac G8 in the shop. We're going to test it with our pit. This is two common issues that happen on a Pontiac G8. If you have a mystery clunking coming from the back or a mystery leakage coming from the front, you might want to stand by and see what we got.
Don't do that. If you hear a mystery clunking coming from the middle to the back end of your car, you could have a carrier bearing that's out. Or your power steering, which goes through your AC condenser right up front, could be leaking. Those are the two issues I've had, and we're going to show you kind of what to do.
We have a leak on our power steering. It's connected to the air conditioning side. So we have to remove this condenser slash power steering pump cooler, and it's here. So we got the top parts off. We got another thing down there, and we're gonna see if using the pit to go below is a better way to disconnect those bottom hoses. So let's see how that works. See all this mess under here? This is a common problem on these G8s. And we're gonna get up in here. Let's put this light where we can see.
We need to remove this AC line, and then this here is the power steering line that goes through that same condenser that we need to undo.
Rob's underneath and he's got his hand on it. I went down here so you can see, but he got his wrench on there. See, my hand's real tight from this side, so he's able to just...
Now this is nice. I'm just standing and my hand up there.
Up the G8 gynecologist.
It's a boy! This is a zero, what do you call that? No
Zero teeth.
Zero teeth. Oh, that was so nice up in there.
Good old Deaver magnets.
That's the official name too, Deaver magnets. So for those of y'all that are unfamiliar, such as I was, on a G8, the power steering goes through the air conditioner condenser, the radiator type thing in front of the radiator. It goes in the bottom. It's like a dual unit thing, and they're known to leak.
So how many thousand miles did you get out of that?
Have about 140. This is a 2009. Trying to keep it low mileage, but we want to enjoy it too.
So to add coolant to a power steering pump that could go 200,000 miles, and they're not too hard to replace anyway, at 140,000 miles, the thing that's saving the power pump makes you have to do all this work. Yes. So, way to go engineering once again.
Hey, I have the coolest power steering fluid you've ever seen though.
Sure one you're not going to start a fire with the light. Since it burns so good.
Yeah, that's a hot light. That's a good light.
Got a heat sink on it. Blinds you every freaking time, so it sucks. It's nice that I have the other lights for just general. These are the days of our lives.
That is nasty. So, your power steering comes in here, gets cooled as it goes through this one little line out there, and for some reason it starts leaking. Now you can see that line that it comes through for cooling.
Where's the brake at?
Brake.
I'm guessing it's near
Where it
the
leaks?
crud.
Yeah.
Where the biggest crud buildup
I
is?
would say somewhere in here is where it leaks. Probably right in the beginning, right in the
Oh yeah,
front.
where that mud's built
Yep.
up tall.
Yep. We're doing a little fix down here. we were continuing with the condenser, and also my front bumper has been split, so we were doing a little bit where we're going to put a bracket just to hold it up for now. And I need to get to some screws that we drilled and placed in there. So I popped the fog light grill out. Lo and behold, didn't know it. If y'all ever need to replace the condenser, all the hoses are right there. You just pop this out. You don't have to crawl underneath the car if you don't have this awesome handy pit where you can just get underneath all of it too. Because I've seen many videos where somebody's laying on the ground crawling underneath. You just pull this out and it's just held in by clips. That clip up in there, you just pull it out and there everything is. You can get to all your hoses from there. Just pull this out. We use this board here to help us push up on this bottom piece to put a bracket here. And we're about to undo it. Make sure to go down. And there we go. Now my bumper is sort of held up there better. I won't catch as much.
Here's the main thing we're here for, and why Rob came over to use my pit, is if you're hearing a clunking sound in the back end, if you're sitting in the back seat of your G8, then this might be your problem. So my pit has about 8 foot of working room either way from here, because we got to have enough room to go up and down the elevator here. And so we're going to be able to get to some stuff from the back, and if we have to, we can flip the car around. No big deal. We can hang up some of this stuff with some straps, do the turnaround, and do the rest. But we're going to try first to just do it from the rear end without fully disconnecting the exhaust. But here we have several hangers we're getting loose right now. So if you want to see, here we got the ones right behind the rear diff.
Just spray a little bit of WD-40 in there so that it moves. The special tool, and you just grab behind right there, pinch, and it comes off, and just use your hand.
Okay, so we got these two off already. Whoa. And he's got these off. We were able to reach these from here. If we have to, we'll be disconnecting the catalytic converter. If we have to, we'll be taking off the catalytic converters, and we'd have to do that from the front. But like I said, not a big deal. We can do all this stuff from the rear, turn the car around, and reverse out. It's still way better than doing this without the pit. So we have those bolts we may be doing. We got our magnetic light set up so we can do whatever we need to do, move it where we need to. But what we're trying to get to above this exhaust and above this heat shield is a carrier bearing. There's 2 drive shafts, a forward and a back one, even in this tiny little space, but there's a carrier bearing there, and that will wear out and cause your clunking noise. So we're going to see what we need to do to be able to get in there and work efficiently and get this done. Now see if it'll... Okay, so instead of dealing with this, because you have to kind of pull too much on the exhaust, we just took these out, no big deal. And now we're removing the center brace.
The exhaust is free floating. We're gonna let it lay down, and hopefully that gives us enough room to get up there.
The front of the exhaust has that accordion mesh stuff, so it's made to have some flex, so we're not hurting any of the mounts up front.
Oh yeah, I don't feel like it's over flexing.
No.
That's good.
So yeah, that feels good. We got some room here.
They're 10 millimeters.
Okay, we have that. Another good thing about the pit over a lift is you got lots of shelf storage for all your stuff. Right where you took it off, you just put it on the ground. All right, here's a 10. Okay, just put that 10 millimeter up there and, oh no! No, it's down there! Oh, what are we gonna do? Oh. What's this? Break glass in case of emergency. 2 millimeters. They're in there. We're saved. Yes. But seriously, we do have to go down below.
Use this or just get it.
No problem. We'll go ahead and just go get the. There you go. Get your fingers out of there. What? You got gloves on. And just lift it up. New spring system's working. Oh, this fell. That was what's so loud. Make sure there's no snakes. Oh, there it is. Woohoo! There's a quick preview of what's underneath this. If you want to see my complete build of this hydraulic system from scratch, poured the whole pit myself. If you haven't seen that, check my channel out. Oh yeah, Rob was there, and I wore him out for 3 days straight on concrete work. So you'll see him in those videos, and yeah, go check that out now. No, don't check that out now. Finish this video, then check that out. All right, back to the project. Here.
I don't trust my fingers.
Just come back, and then just let it slam, and then kick it into place. Let it go. There you go. All right, that's beautiful. This thing works great. I need to keep this in here. I don't think I use it for anything else. Back to serious life.
Hey, it is a
10 millimeter. This car has been every freaking size you can imagine. 7s, 8s, 10s, 13s, 7/16. We're getting all the tools out. Oh, Rob, you didn't wash this before we started? Ah, inconsiderate of the mechanics. Oh, he is the mechanic, it's all right. Let him get that dirt.
It's a heat shield, not a dirt shield.
All right, here comes the big reveal.
Yep.
Oh man, we got to this thing easy. Here you go, do it. Oh, what's it gonna look like?
Oh, that's beautiful.
There we go.
Can you see a hole through the rubber?
It's dropped. It's dropped way out.
There's
the noise. Make the noise. If you've heard that sound, in your back seat, this is your problem. There are many videos on how to do this maybe better. I don't know, but we're doing it with a pit and we're showing you that you can. Oh dude, this job's gonna be way easier.
way easier. 15. Back to 15.
I'm just blinding you in here.
Too much light.
And we've actually got enough light from our natural lighting, but we're just trying to get y'all some camera shots.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, for something designed for only oil changes, this is nice.
Pits are only good for oil
not 15.
changes. Not 15.
It went smaller.
New socket size coming up. Oh, look at this. Oh, custom
that is
selections.
13.
Oh, we gotta look for our 13.
Ow. What we're gonna do, this whole carrier bearing is around this. We're gonna end up cutting it off because I have a JXB aftermarket and it's 2 sections, and that one will go and clamp on. So we're gonna get to cutting this off.
Well, will that slide back along this to an easier to get to area?
No, it's captured right here.
How does it go on in the first place? From the front?
You drop the drive shaft, separate it, shove a new one on, put it all back up. So you got to undo your drive shaft from here.
So it goes to the front drive shaft?
It goes to both. Right here is the union of both of them. you have to take it all apart and it's press fit on.
If you, okay, so this is a slip joint.
Yeah, with
So if you take this off, you can pull the slip joint out and then get that off. And we could just slide it off or we can cut it off. Is that the choice?
Yeah. I'm going with cut it off because if I ever have to do this, because this is a common problem. So if we did the slide off, I'm gonna be replacing this again in a few years because apparently this is a common problem. So the JXB that I have comes with the rubber mounts, the sheaths. I just undo some bolts, pull it in half, and I put the new rubber in there and put it all back together.
Okay.
I don't ever have to remove the drive shaft. Before we move this out of the way, we're gonna be cutting that off. This is the carrier bearing. Well, this is the carrier, this is the bearing. So it holds, and there's this rubber that is broken, and the rubber left around here. The kit that I have tells you to come cut this rubber off, but you don't have to cut it off completely. Using a box blade, you just sit here and cut through it like butter. I'm getting it kind of smooth around there, and it's okay to leave some rubber per the manufacturer.
So the actual bearing part, there's nothing wrong with. It's just the rubber boot.
Yep.
So see how smooth that is and tight the bearing still is? So that's why this kit's gonna work. It didn't really make any sense to me at first, but.
Yep, me neither. And should anything go out in the future, the new rubber parts from that company is like 30 bucks.
Did you buy some spares?
Not yet. I figure put it on, see how it does, and then order.
That's kind of a thing from our line of work and maintenance type situations is manufacturers like to stop making parts, so if they have a spare, you might buy it now and keep it on the shelf for later.
I'm happy with that.
There you have it, folks. He's happy with that. Official call on how much we're trimming has been done. Alright, so I got this cut in 2 places. I got it cut fully here and just weakened it up there, so now we're able to just spread this gap. Pull this dude off. And here it is. Let's take a look at this in the light. Just that rubber boot like we're talking about. This is what chewed up. This is what we're going to be replacing. It's pretty thin metal. Just protect your drive shaft and cut through it with the angle grinder. Alright, let's look at our new product.
This is sponsored by JXB Performance. This is to solve our carrier bearing problem that you saw earlier that it rattles. So here's the part I was talking about. This is from JXB Performance. This is the carrier bearing to replace that damaged carrier bearing. So we open it up. They give us a great sticker. That's always nice. It comes with an install video. If you pause it, you can go take a look at that after this video. This here is the new carrier bearing, and they have awesome instructions letting you know that this is the front. So it will sit in the car that direction. Yes, that direction, I believe. We'll see. Oh, that's right. That direction. I knew it was looking a little strange. And it comes with bolts. This piece separates, and it has these rubber bushings that will fit right up in here and hold that carrier bearing. You'll see as we put it in. This comes with, what makes this very different than the stock is it has some rubber bushings that will be mounted here. I know I have them backwards, but you'll see them as they get installed. Some shock absorbers, if you will. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. Look at this. That's pretty nice. All right, so you take the front half, you put your little rubber holder on. It says front, so it goes to the front of the car. It comes up here and holds on. Take your second half. Put it on. Once again, front. So that's going to go to the front of the car. Alright, it says to do a little bit on each side so that you don't bind. And we'll turn it back on when we get it close to being closed. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get these installed to help keep this in alignment. To make sure it lands in the right position. So you do your bolt, a fender washer, and the dampener. And then another dampener, the little peg down on that side. Small washer. Their instructions are what showed me all of this.
What size are those bolts?
13, I believe.
What size was the Allen wrenches?
5 millimeters, I believe. I don't know if this is something with my G8 or some of the design. They do say in the instructions that you put these two clamps together first and then you put these bolts on. But what I was noticing is if you look up here, this slotted hole doesn't match up with the hole up here. So I positioned them to hold it. Well, when I did that and I finished putting these together, the rubber was up against this union joint. That's going to cause a lot of heat on this rubber and make it, prematurely end. So we're going to clamp it like the instructions said, make sure it's not touching any of the rotating, moving parts, and then try to make sure we can make these fit.
Yeah, so basically the squeeze out from the rubber was being pushed forward and touching the knuckles. So we're gonna manipulate the squeeze by adjusting it forward, clamping it, and then pulling it back so that that squeeze out doesn't get to squishing the knuckles. This rubber right between these little knuckles was hitting, but we clamped it here and stretched it back in order to line up the holes. And that's just how we're gonna have to do it. We needed to get some clearance in there. On this side,
we've got a gap at the bottom because we pulled it back. Heard that click?
So we tighten that to 19 Newton meters, or if you convert that to in-home garage mechanics in the US, that is 19 Gudentites.
19 Gudentites. So, look at that movement now. Yeah.
Anyway, we got that installed. Everything else is just going to be reverse operation, so we're not going to bore you with that, and we'll see you on the top side. So, for everyone who thinks this is a death trap that's going to pancake people underneath the car, here's what happens. First off, there's a hard button push, so it's not really going to malfunction just sitting there. But if somebody pushes this and I'm under there, what do you think's worse? A car falling off a lift in 2 seconds, or, oh my goodness, This thing's so awful. It's so awful. You got so squished it. We got the car all back together. Several fixes done today. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.